So I got the tank here, so I'm filling it up now. So I'm basically just taking, actually this is just basically a tissue culture cup that I got from Tissue Cultures. I just put it down in there and just use a regular water jug or pitcher, whatever you want to call it, and just slowly basically put it in there. Now if it was me, I would slowly drip it in there, like actually drip the water in there. So and that usually takes, depending on the size, but like this tank would probably take hours, probably 3 or 4 hours before it'd be fully full up if we did the drip method. And I just make sure there's nothing getting disturbed at all. But of course I don't have that much time, so I just have to do it this way, but it still works. You can see like nothing's really been disturbed that much as of right now. I'll definitely have to play with the sand a little bit because it kind of bounced around a little bit, but now that it's kind of above the sand and it's kind of getting above this wood, it's easier to pour it in, so I can actually pour it in a little faster if I want to now. But yeah, it's going good so far. The only problems I've had with the pipes, the pipes aren't suction cupping onto the background because obviously it's that frost background from ADA, and it is, that background is too slippery, or it's just too rough for that suction cup to really attach itself, unlike, you know, like a piece of glass where it's pretty easy for it to suction. So I have to figure out something on that. I did actually cut it. I cut a circle out for this suction cup because that does need to be secure, because that's where the water is actually coming out. So that's a bigger deal. But that one, I may have to do the same thing. I don't know, but we'll just see what happens. But at least that one's on. It's kind of at an angle, but honestly that's just fine because that probably works out better anyway. So the flow goes around this way. But yeah, even if I have to just let that hang, but you know, obviously straighten it up, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I'll keep filling it up and I'll update you guys. So pretty much got it all filled up. Might be a little bit more just depending, because I don't know with the ADA lid, I forget how much you can fill it up before, you know, it starts touching the glass. But I think right here is about where it usually is. But so yeah, I got it filled up. Thankfully nothing really happened. Usually, you know, like some plants start lifting up, but everything seemed to be fine, which doing that mini dry start and then just letting that glue dry for some of those plants like the Nubius Boost and Pinophilia probably really helped too, just letting everything dry and attach itself, so that helped a lot probably. And yeah, so I got the actual filter running too, so it's running. That thing, for a small canister like that, it pushes quite a bit, so I'd actually push the outlet more towards the surface a little bit, because it was shooting straight down into that sand. It was pushing quite a bit, but obviously over time it'll slow itself down once that filter starts getting established and gunk starts getting on there. But yeah, I still have to fix the intake. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I'll have to fix. I was about to say it doesn't look that bad, but yeah, when you look at it through the front, it's at an angle real bad. So I just have to get in there and twist the tubing and see, because I probably just won't even suction cup it if I can get it to stay straight. So, but yeah, I actually forgot the clips for the lid, so I have to actually get that put on there so they can have a lid on here, so evaporation problems aren't a thing. So. But I'll be here weekly, so water changes are really, I mean, evaporation is going to be very minimal, especially with the lid on. So, yeah, I just put some seed in there, so this stuff's real good. Unlike stability, like stability establishes your bacteria, but this actually will, I don't know the right word is, I don't know how the right way to describe this, but this is actually going to like establish it on your biomedia. This type of bacteria actually will grow on surfaces, if that makes sense. I probably explaining it so wrong, but this stuff is actually a little bit better if you can get it. So at least for like new setups, like when you're really trying to establish a new filter, this is the stuff to use. And then like going forward, stability is a good option, obviously. But yeah, that's definitely a good bio supplement that I recommend if you can get it. But Aqua Vitro, their products can be kind of hard to get. Not a lot of stores even carry them, so it might not be available. But it's just an off-brand of Seachem. Not really off-brand in a bad way, but like it's like another brand of Seachem that they do. But yeah, stability is definitely still a good choice if you can get that. But yeah, get it all cycled. So when we run CO2 in this tank, if some people might know this, but even if there's high ammonia levels, if you're running CO2 and your pH is 7 or under, you can actually pretty much add fish instantly, because CO2 detoxifies ammonia pretty much to the fish, and the fish basically won't even get affected even if the ammonia is like 8 ppm. So it's actually pretty nice. Some people don't even know that, but like when in high-tech planet setups like this, you can actually add fish pretty quickly. But we'll see. I think I'm definitely going to add some shrimp first, and then I'll see. Maybe I'll have the fish and the shrimp at the same time to see what happens. Just don't, maybe not go crazy, maybe just add a few of each and then see what happens. But yeah, I'll probably show you guys here in a little bit when I finally like it clears up just a little bit more and I get the lid on and all that. But I'll see you guys on next. So I got basically it all cleaned up, 100% filled, everything's wiped down now. So yeah, I'm actually surprised, you know, for how fast I filled it up. It's actually insanely clear. On camera, it probably seems a little foggy, and it is in person too, obviously because it's literally just filled up. Because some of that sand obviously is going to be a little dusty, so it's going to have a slight haze like usual. But yeah, really it's crystal clear for the most part. For how fast I filled it up, I thought this thing was going to be a mess, but it actually went pretty good, so that's good. And then like the lily pipes really didn't work out that well, I'm not gonna lie. But so this one I actually have to have it at an angle, which whatever. I mean, I'm just so OCD that I just liked everything to look good, and you guys know that with all my setups. But it's just what it is. I had to do what I had to do, but it actually worked out better that way because the flow, it actually basically hits the side of the basically hits this piece of wood that sticks out, and the flow directly hits right in here, so it actually like diverts the flow a little bit because it is very strong, like I was telling you guys. So that's actually good. So actually you can kind of see the bubbles here, but it hits that and basically just disperses, so it's not, you know, blowing around anything else. So actually it worked out perfect the way that angled out. But yeah, you can see I had to cut out circles in the background, which honestly looked really ugly because you look at it from the front, it's like it really just takes away the whole point of even having the background. But you know, it still works fine. And the only problem is that spot's always going to be opened up like that, to where if I would have known that, I would have put the outtake over here to where then the stems would eventually cover it up. But I wanted the input to actually be covered up by the stems too, so that's covered. And then obviously I just always wanted the flow to be in the open, just so there's always a constant flow. So because obviously if you start getting plants all grown up in the inflow and then you're just restricting flow at that point, I don't want to do that. So really it has to be over here. But yeah, it sucks that we had to cut little holes in that frost background. But I mean, the only people that are going to really judge it or even say anything about it would be me or one of you guys. So general public ain't going to really say anything, or anybody sees it in general. It's not like they're going to point that out. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. I wiped down, obviously the Twin Star has like little plastic pieces, so I was kind of satisfying to peel that off, and all the acrylic looks real clear for now until water gets all over it and messes it up. But it's all looking pretty good. The suction cup fell off there. But then like the CO2, I have the 88 one that I had spare, but again eventually I'll have to, I messed up the cartridge and spilled out all the CO2, so I'm going to have to get another one. But that will get set up for now, and we'll just have that constantly running until I can actually get like a paintball set up and with a GLA regular on it, which would be way better. But that just costs a little more money right now, and I don't want to do that. So this will work just fine, just for at least for like a month or two, and then we'll actually put like a nice setup on this. But yeah, I think that's all I really need to share. Obviously, you know, the plan is for those stems to really grow up, and I want basically have just a round bush of Rotella in that left corner, and then everything else be open. And then stock wise, I did definitely, here's kind of a red theme, so I think I'm definitely gonna do cherry shrimp for sure. And they'll breed, so you know, have all kinds of babies in here for sure. And then schooling wise, I don't know. I mean, preferably just something small, you know, a group of like 12 or something, and it's just a dozen of something. We'll figure out something, whatever I can get. But something that's really nice looking, something like a tight real school that doesn't get real big, just something real small. Even some small rise boars would be just fine. You know, just something real tiny to where we can actually, you know, have something a little attractive in here. But yeah, I think obviously, and then yeah, I got the lid on there like I was saying. I kind of filled up too much because you can see the water line, but it'll evaporate in no time, so that's all good. But yeah, other than that, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know down below in the comments, or you can go on my Instagram at JJ Aquariums. Other than that, yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.